Ready to get working? Steve and I arrived in Anderson County, South Carolina to help the Sheriff's Department investigate the 2015 quadruple murders of married couple Mike and Kathy Scott and their elderly mothers, Barbara Scott and Violet Taylor. All brutally stabbed, shot, and robbed of what we believe were tens of thousands of dollars in cash.
There was no forced entry. At the time, we believed whoever killed them was let into the house.
All four victims were known for their very caring natures and the love they all had for their grandchildren. Their shocking murders on Halloween night left their community terrified and their families devastated. We learned about Kathy's volatile relationship with our prime suspects, Amy, her daughter, and her new husband, Ross, who also lived on the property.
It's the thing she wished I could see the whole time.
They fought over money and how to raise Amy's children. And Amy was keeping the kids from seeing Kathy and Mike.
It goes almost all the way across from one side to the other. It's a near decapitation.
The knife wound seemed consistent with Ross's military training and the combat knives he had been trained to use. And we determined that it was Kathy's missing gun that was turned against her and then everybody else.
She was close range.
But most damning, a photo of our victim Mike's cash taken before the murders, which matched money found at Amy and Ross's trailer after the murders. We haven't ruled out any suspects or possibilities yet, but we're clearly on the right track.
You know, these cases never go away. You get a whole family that's wiped out, and they were clearly law-abiding people, salt of the earth, and those are the ones that bother people the most. This one here, it just resonates with everybody.
It's been 8 years, and no one can believe it's been this long, and no charges have been filed, and nothing has happened, and it's just crazy. We still have unanswered questions. Was this crime committed by one person or more? Why that night? And who do those bloody shoe prints at the scene belong to? One thing that is clear, Mike and Kathy's families have gone way too long without answers or justice. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good, gentlemen. Morning.
We did 17 people yesterday. We knocked some stuff out. We've established Amy and Ross Velarde's financial motives, and we have proved that they had Mike's cash in their trailer. But more than that, we've uncovered a very deteriorating relationship between Amy and her mother, Kathy, leading up to the murders. Most everybody said that Kathy has been trying Amy's whole life to try and make her mind and grow up and do the right thing, and she's just beaten down because Amy has never behaved or minded her whole life. From the minute she had those kids, she never had a maternal instinct. Kathy did everything. She changed the diapers, she fed them, she burped them, and Amy would just sit there and do her thing on her phone and live her life. Those kids really were raised by Mike and Kathy. Amy didn't do anything until the last couple of months when she used it for ammunition.
I think Amy took that the wrong way. I think with Kathy really trying to help get her on the right track, not only for herself, but to raise her kids. Amy took that as controlling.
But Amy's all about the money. Always has been. Why would Amy do that to her mom, turn the kids away like that?
She wasn't getting the money she wanted. She used those kids as a weapon on her mother.
It shows the character of Mike and Kathy, and then also the character of Amy.
Everybody we talked to, just so you know, so thankful you're working the case. Can't believe nothing's happened. Everybody's invested. If we're going to build a circumstantial evidence case against Amy and Ross, we need to consider the fact that they could argue against our strongest piece of physical evidence, that those matching bills in their trailer were given to them by Mike. So if they are responsible, we need more, and we have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. We need to take a really hard look at their financial records, their business records, and their cell records, and talk to any witnesses at all in this world to see what we can do to strengthen this case. Hello, Miss Hannah. How are you? Tell me. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So let's just get started with, tell us what you remember.
I worked for Amy and Ross back in 2015.
Amy and Ross claim that $67,000 found in their trailer came from their life savings, including the dog grooming business at Styles for Miles. We want to learn everything that we can about the business records and the financial records to see whether or not that can be verified. Hannah Schneider is not just a former employee of Amy, she's also her cousin. How long have Styles for Miles been open?
They had their mobile before they had that shop. So the mobile for maybe 5 years and the shop 3 years.
Was it successful?
We were constantly busy, but it was just constantly something financial. Like every morning when I got there, I would check the voicemails, check the phone calls, and there was bill collectors calling and leaving voicemails like you wouldn't believe. And I was fired. I can't remember exactly if it was August or September of that year. They were having money issues and paying me, so that's where the whole argument and disagreement started, and then they were like, well, we're just gonna let you go. Even then, my last paycheck was like $300 short.
You confronted them? Is that what I'm hearing? About
Yes.
The learning situation?
Yeah.
And they, instead of trying to fix it, they just said, we don't need you anymore. When did your checks start coming up short?
2 weeks after I started.
Okay.
It sounds like Amy and Ross's dog grooming business was struggling. That could account for why we heard Amy and Kathy were fighting about money. What about the relationship between Amy and her mom?
Turmoil.
Always?
Always. They were constantly arguing, fighting, screaming at each other, and then going into the husband she married. I think that just added on to Amy's anger.
Did she have anger?
Oh, yeah.
What about Ross? Did you ever talk about himself at all?
I knew he was in the army.
Did Ross ever carry knives?
I know Amy does. Amy's car used to be loaded down with stuff. There would be like little pocket knives here and there, but to me that wasn't an alarm because I'm a country girl. I was raised on a farm. We all have pocket knives and stuff like that. But the military Bowie looking knife.
How did you know it was a military knife?
Because of it was large like this, including the blade, and the handle was probably like this. My step-grandpa gave me a knife like that, and it had a compass on the end, and he was in the Vietnam War, so it looked kind of similar to what I was given.
Okay.
We had wondered if the knife used in the murders was a combat knife, kind of like the one Hannah is describing.
The younger.
Could that be our murder weapon? Could Amy have been the one who used it?
When something like this happens, you don't ever forget about it. It never goes away. Mike's my only brother, my only sibling, older, so handsome. And they loved being the grandfather. Kathy loved her horses and the dogs, and they never took time for themselves. They were always taking care of someone. My mother was a very godly woman, very loving, wonderful cook. The best mama. She and Miss Taylor, they kind of had each other. She was such a sweet, quiet, natured woman. And after the murders, I'm just not the same. I've spent the last 8 years waiting for some sort of justice.
Now, Roxy's got some transcripts because she actually was really interviewed.
Right.
She's definitely in the middle of that work because she used to work for them, remember?
Yep.
We've just heard that our suspects, Amy and Ross's dog grooming business, was hurting, which may have fueled their potential financial motives for killing Amy's mom, Kathy, stepfather, Mike, and their elderly mothers, Barbara and Violet. It also supports our theory that that cash found in Amy and Ross's trailer was stolen.
Hey, Rossi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing fine.
Come in.
We tracked down another former employee to provide further insight.
She worked for Ross and Amy, right? What was your job there?
A bather, and
Bather.
I was learning in the process of grooming.
When you worked for the shop, you said they were just getting started, so they weren't very successful yet.
They appeared that they were fine.
Okay.
But then I would hear arguments of them, and a lot of it was money related. When I started working for her, I seen Kathy and Mike at the grooming shop. I was in the back grooming, so I didn't hear everything that was going on. But it was something to do with money.
Okay.
Throughout working there, she'd always tell me about how she was treated growing up and all of that.
What kind of stuff would she say about how she was treated?
She told me that she was always a daddy's girl, and she said her dad he was working on a car and it crushed him, and he was placed in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom decided to pull the plug. She always hated her mom for that.
We've heard a lot of talk about Amy describing her mother as being narcissistic and overbearing. But now we're also hearing that Amy blamed her mom for being the person who prematurely pulled the plug on her dad's life support system. If that is true, that adds a whole new element to their dysfunctional dynamic.
After the bodies were discovered, did you talk to Amy at all that week?
Well, I've always wanted to do crime scene cleanups. So when this happened, she knew that I would be the first person to call.
Did Amy help you clean that up?
Yeah, she did.
What was her emotional state while doing that?
It was pretty usual sort of conversation, laughter, but nothing ever like really depressed or, oh my God, this is so sad.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
So she's laughing, cleaning up her family's blood? She's not crying over... What was Ross like after the murders?
Ross was pretty much the same person.
Mm-hmm.
He always wanted to be the alpha in their relationship, but he never was when it was just those two. Amy was the decision maker.
Yeah.
I came to work one day and I got into it with my son's father. And Ross had made a joke and said, do you want me to kill him? It was a joke at the time.
Right.
And then later I was like, holy I'm glad I didn't say yeah.
So talking about the money, you recovered with the search warrant $67,000 from Amy and Ross's trailer. And their answer to you back then was, that's our money, we don't believe in banks. And it came from Ross's military, disability, and my great income from the grooming business. That's where we get the $67,000. And you have a report detailing years of income and outcome. Let's go over the money part of all this.
We've heard that Amy and Ross's business was not as successful as they said it was. But the sheriff's department has acquired their financial records around the time of the murder to get the complete picture. It's time to break it all down.
In 2013,
That was a big settlement for Ross after he got out of the military.
so the chunk of change comes in with Ross's military disability check. VA disability settlement was $25,000.
In 2013, 2 years before the murders, Amy and Ross's proven income was $25,000 from a disability settlement, $17,000 from their business, and roughly a $5,000 income tax refund.
And at the same time, or right after that, what's he buying?
4 months later, he's buying a $14,000 truck. And then in September of that year, he buys a $5,800 Mustang. He bought 2 Harley Davidsons for a total of $15,000.
So that's $35,000 he spent right there. And his disability settlement was $25,000. So we're already negative on what he's bought.
Right there off the bat.
So then all their real income is simply Styles for Miles.
In 2014, they only made about $2,700 off of Styles for Miles.
In 2015, how much are they making?
Around $27,000.
Total. When you're putting together a murder case, you need to also try to answer the question, why now? These financial records, when you look at them critically, they don't just tell you that Amy and Ross wanted money, they needed money. Now we have further evidence that money found in the trailer was not their life savings. It was money stolen from the crime scene.
Business wasn't doing as well as they acted like it was doing.
So you can say right away that $67,000 does not add up to what they claim their explanation to you justifying the money was back in 2015. And then you have the serial numbers. If you didn't even have the serial numbers, you could say the money doesn't add up. They're broke. Come on in.
How y'all doing today? Ready to get into it?
Yes. Evidence is mounting that Amy and Ross Velarde were responsible for the 2015 murders of Mike and Kathy Scott and their mothers, Barbara and Violet. We've only got two things left to clear up. Were they both at the crime scene that night, and what about those bloody shoe prints? Our digital forensics expert has reviewed the cell phone records examined by the sheriff's department, and that could help.
All right, so we're going to start with your cell tower location records. Y'all got court orders for Amy Velarde. You also have the Ross Velarde records. There's your area here that you're focusing in on Pendleton, around the crime scene. There's all their calls here that you've got. They're always hitting off of this tower, which is covering both trailers. That's consistent with what their story is. They were there at the home locations.
Amy and Ross's trailer was located only a few yards from the crime scene. The good news is that the location data shows that they were actually home the night of the murders. The bad news is we already knew that. I'm actually more interested in their text messages to see what that reveals.
We're going to dive right into the digital forensics. So here is 9/4/2015. Ross sends a message to Amy. Honey, please don't spend any more money. We have only $40 left in the business account. More financial trouble. This was on 10/15/2015. Amy Hendricks, they're at the shop raising hell about the rent. Ross replies, what would you like me to say to them? At the moment, we don't have the money. Here's one that I found particularly important because this is talking about what actually they owe at this point. So this is a message between Amy and Ross, 10/22/2015. Ross sends a message. Maybe he'll change his tune for you, but for me, he doesn't give any other options. Amy replied, that's where you say, look, we want to move so you can get another business in here. We can give you the $7,000 on the first. Otherwise, we can't do anything until then. So having no money, and you've seen all those other messages, they're expecting to have $7,000 in the account on the first. Where's that money coming from?
Yeah. 9 days before the murders, Amy texted Ross that they would have $7,000 on November the 1st, 1 day after the murders. How did she know they were suddenly going to come into $7,000? That's evidence of premeditation, and come to think of it, so is arranging to have your children out of town.
On 10/31/2015,
the day of the murder, right?
8:33:08 p.m., Ross sends a message to Amy Hendricks. So 10 minutes then, LOL. Amy Hendricks replies at 8:36:18 p.m. Everyone is up now, talking ha ha ha, take my car, grab a six-pack.
At 8:36 p.m. on the night of the murders, Amy texted Ross and said everyone is up now and talking. We can't say for sure what that means, but it could be that she's inside of Mike and Kathy's trailer, signaling that it's a good time for Ross to come over and join them.
Isn't that the best piece of evidence we have, putting Amy in the trailer? Right?
This matches a reenactment of the crime scene, and that Amy actually had a hand in what went down inside of that trailer.
I think Amy probably lets him in. He turns, locks the door, comes in.
If we're right, her attitude is disgusting.
Here's a message on 11/5/2015 from Amy Hendricks to Ross. She says, hey babe, we need to go ahead and run. There's no context around it. Looks to me like she's planning on running.
Amy sent Ross to go buy beer on the night of the murders. After some really good detective work, the sheriff's office has found the evidence we've been waiting for. And you actually have the video of it?
Yes, we have the video of him walking out of the store after purchasing the beer on Halloween night. So this is the camera at the door. That's him walking out. The interesting thing about this is, and I'll play it one more time because it is quick. So you notice, like, right here, those red ASIC shoes match the bloody footprint we had in the crime scene.
This is so great. The surveillance video clearly shows Ross wearing the same Asics tennis shoes. It's exactly what we thought, and now we can prove it.
We were able to confirm those shoes are the Asics shoes, confirmed by Asics.
Nice. The best part is there were drops of blood visible on top of those shoe prints. So they weren't from somebody walking through the crime scene afterwards. They were left during the attack, and they belonged to the killer. Jackpot.
Those shoes were never found. We looked everywhere we could.
That's good.
And the sweatshirt also never recovered.
That's great. Mm-hmm. It's time to confront Ross and Amy. This is the one thing that Scotty was excited about. Either one of them, Ross or Amy, has ever been confronted with the evidence,
I
with the shoe
understand
print,
that.
with
Say
the
that,
money.
yeah, I agree. She's as guilty as he is. But if you come out of here with him going to jail for the rest of his life, and she takes some bum rush, I don't care what it is, receiving stolen, I could live with that. Honest to God, I'm telling you.
No. I'd rather he get away with it than her.
No.
It's all her idea, Steve.
Ross did it.
Amy was
Ross
always
is
going
a
to
big boy.
So
Ross
what?
is a Marine.
If you'd have never met Amy Velarde, they would still be alive. It's all her.
Okay.
Today's the big day. It's time to talk to the prime suspects in one of this county's biggest unsolved cases, Amy and Ross Velarde. Good morning, boys. We've uncovered mountains of circumstantial evidence and answered almost all of our questions. At this point, one big question still remains. Will either of them confess or turn on the other one? Well, you're the boss, and I know you were excited to talk to Ross, so talk us through what you're thinking. What's your strategy on that? Because he knows you.
Right.
Sure, the old Wisconsin knock.
We're going to introduce Tyler to him as someone, who didn't work here at the time these murders happened.
Hey, are you Ross? I'm Tyler Duncan. I'm with Anderson County Sheriff's Office. This is Steve.
How you doing?
I got assigned the case about the homicide that happened in Pendleton in 2015.
He is the new lead, and he is going back to the beginning and investigating everything all over again. Amy found the bodies. She's the one who called 911.
Is Amy here? So since she's the one that called 911, I think you were there also. We'd like to talk to you. We want to talk to them separately, if at all possible. If you want to come on out, we'll talk to you, and then we can talk to her. Did we wake you up? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hopefully they don't have any idea that we've been working on it and just pretend like he doesn't have a clue about the case.
Right, that sounds like a good plan.
Can you describe, I guess, your relationship with Mike and Kathy?
I had a good relationship with Kathy, and my relationship with Mike was really great, actually. It kind of turned sideways a little bit July 4th. Amy was pretty upset with him and told Kathy that you and Mike need to respect what I say, because I'm their mother. You're not their parent. That's when things started going sour between Amy and Kathy.
So I think y'all had got married that year, is that right?
Correct.
In 2015?
Yes, October 24th.
The 24th. That would have been, what, about a week or so before?
Yep.
Where were the kids at when y'all had gotten married? Were they with your parents?
Yeah, so we had a small ceremony at my parents' place. My mom and dad offered to watch the kids. Amy and I were just going to have a couple days to ourselves. That's why we'd come down the following weekend to pick the kids back up from my parents and take them back up with us.
What date was that?
Halloween night. We came back down here.
So y'all came down Saturday, Halloween night, stayed for the weekend, and then after that, you got the kids and went back.
I believe it was Sunday evening or
Okay.
either Sunday evening or Monday that we went back. I can't remember. The last time that I saw Mike and Kathy was before Amy and I left to come down that Halloween.
Ross's story doesn't match what he and Amy initially told law enforcement, that they were home on the night of the murders, just a few yards from the crime scene. And it doesn't match the cell phone location data either. It's clear he doesn't remember they actually already told the truth about that. It seems like he's trying to concoct a new alibi.
We had just gotten back from my mom and dad's. I was out running a couple of errands. She had noticed that her mom's dogs had not been taken out yet. She went to knock on the back door, but the back door because it kind of just was already cracked open or something like that. And that's when she apparently found the scene that she found. She went bolting back out of the house. I think she called 911 before she called me, if I remember correctly. She called me and said I needed to be home immediately. When I got home, she told me, she said, take the kids, go to a back bedroom and keep them away from the windows.
So you didn't go over to the other trailer?
No.
Over to Mike and Kathy's trailer?
Correct. I never went in that trailer that day.
So after you last seen them, you never went in their place again?
Correct. Yeah.
Tyler's making Ross confirm that he never actually entered Mike and Kathy's trailer, setting the trap for when we confront him about those shoe prints.
There was a couple things that kind of were red flags, but I don't know if they have anything to do with this or not. Mike bought and sold a lot of items, and some of the people that he was buying from were pretty shady sometimes. On a couple of occasions, he had these people come to the property And Amy had the conversation with him that, hey, look, you don't need to be bringing these types of people to the house or to the property. We have children here. There was a couple of fairly shady people that he worked with that he didn't even really trust. So that's another kind of red flag that I had as I was trying to just replay like events leading up to the homicide. Should I have seen something?
Ross is acting pretty calm and collected, and like he's genuinely trying to help us by giving us other suspects that may have been involved in this crime. It's probably just a coincidence that that's a pretty common diversionary tactic. We're just starting out with this. If you were us, what would you do? What do you think happened there, Ross?
He's the first gentleman that's asked me that. TV shows that I watch always say, follow the money. And you find out where the real motives are. Where's the money gone? Pam had a lot more to gain out of this than Amy and I ever will. She gained a lot of assets. Amy and I, we have lost our asses. They destroyed our business. From January to when this happened, I made just shy of $100,000 with our mobile grooming business. As soon as this happened, with all the media coverage, all of that went away because of this.
And you said you had a large amount of money in your single wide? Is that where the money came from?
The money that was in our single wide in my safe, about $80,000, that was literally the life savings between Amy and myself.
Nothing out of Ross's mouth is consistent with the evidence. But we need to talk to Amy, so we gotta play nice.
Can you just tell her to come out here, and if we need to follow up with anything before we leave?
That's fine. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
thank you.
Yep, I'll let her know.
Just shovel the bull out of that front seat right now so Amy can get in.
Mm-hmm.
He's the victim, you know.
Oh, I got that very quickly. But follow the money.
Follow the money.
You can tell that he's...
Yeah, I saw him.
And every time he's talking, he can't look at you in the face.
You got a tiger by the tail here, though, buddy. Don't think you don't. This is a career case, let me tell you. There she comes. Get the snake bite kit ready. Our suspect, Amy Velarde, does not look happy to see us.
You just hop in the passenger seat.
I'm probably getting
Do what now?
forward. Man, I don't know.
Okay, well, we can stand outside.
She walks towards us. She won't get inside of the truck. She basically lights a cigarette, and kind of the body language is just not good.
So we're here to see if there's anything that you can help us with the case.
The longer we keep her talking, maybe she'll slip up. Maybe she'll give us something we didn't know. Or maybe she'll implicate herself in this crime.
You know, you get pretty irritated about lies.
I understand.
And stuff going around.
I understand.
And everything else, and how that affects children.
We're trying to do right by your mother,
Right.
your grandmother, and then obviously Mr. Scott and his mom. What do you remember? What can you help us with? Where should we look?
Yeah, me and my therapist talk about that a lot. Obviously, you gotta know finding dead people doesn't really leave you in the right state of mind. Can do things to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And then everything that ensued. I mean, honestly, I can barely remember the funerals.
Ross, tell us a little bit about like the relationship between, like, I guess y'all and the family. Something happened.
We got into it around 4th of July or something with Mike. But he wasn't a nice person at all. Because I told my mom, look, I don't like it. My kids can't come over there until we straighten some stuff out.
So at the time of the murders, you and your mom were back talking. Everything was kind of getting patched up.
Me and my mother was not a horrible person. She was prickly.
So can you tell us a little bit about that weekend when were you gone, when you got home and you found the bodies, or what happened?
It's his mom's, my mother-in-law, to do Halloween. We went down there and spent the weekend.
What day did y'all leave to go down?
Friday night.
Friday night.
I'm not surprised at all that Amy is downplaying the fact that the relationship between her mother and her was terrible, that she openly told people she wanted her mother dead.
It was a lot of Amy bashing her on the internet.
I've seen them fight.
Yeah, then Amy would actually go to it, fight.
Yeah.
She always hated her mom.
She used to say she wished they were dead the whole time.
She has to distance herself from this crime scene here and state that they weren't even home on the night of the murders. What do you think happened?
Honestly, I don't know. I drove myself quite crazy for about a couple of years there. And I've chosen to step away, and I've got to be healthy, and I've got kids, and I've got a life to live, and it's somebody else dropped the ball on it. It's not on me anymore.
Okay. Well, if we just ask Ross a couple more things, and we'll be out.
Amy's contradicted everything we've heard, and that's great. But we don't want to push it by confronting her about that suspicious text to Ross on the night of the murders.
She can't remember anything because she doesn't remember her lies.
You are a skeptical young man.
Am I wrong?
You're right on. Time to get Ross back in the car and confront him with the evidence in this case.
So we just want to ask you a couple more things, and we're going to get out of here, okay?
Anytime you have two people in a crime, you have to consider, will one of them out the other one? Is one of them going to rat on the other ones here? Who's got the most to lose?
There was something that had come up. You remember owning a red pair of shoes?
Red pair of shoes?
ASIC Speed Store shoes.
Don't recall.
These ASIC Speed Store shoes.
Okay, I remember those shoes.
What happened to the shoes?
That's a good question, because I have no idea.
This is from crime scene photos, and these are confirmed to be ASIC Speed Store shoes.
Okay.
Inside, and they have blood droplets on them. And interestingly enough, you're at the Quick Trip wearing those shoes the night of the murders.
Okay.
So if you never went in the house, I'm just interested to know how they ended up in the house.
I have no idea how those shoes would have had any kind of blood on them. I mean, obviously I was wearing them at a Quick Trip on the 31st.
Well, and they never found the clothes either that you were wearing.
That hoodie?
Mm-hmm.
Let me think here.
If y'all left on Halloween afternoon, but you're on video there, the timeline doesn't add up. The fact that your shoes are inside of the house in blood, that's a big problem.
Again, I don't know where the shoes are at the moment, and I don't remember whatever happened to those particular shoes. If something were to have happened that I had done, it would be stupid for me to wear them into the house and then wear them after that. Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were never found. So it's almost like you got rid of them.
I highly doubt I got rid of them then, but, I mean...
Here's the bottom line, okay? So we know what happened, and we're about to prove it.
Okay.
So the opportunity for you is now. If you want to look out for yourself, is to really just to tell us what happened. If this was something that Amy put you up to doing, because obviously you have the skill set to go in here and do this, and y'all did benefit from the murders, okay, because you got a lot of money. We've been through your financials, okay?
We did not get a lot of money from this.
Y'all were struggling all up until the murders. The money found in your safe, there's money photos from Mike's computer that match the same serial numbers as the money that was found in the safe. So it's not savings. That's money that was found inside of Mike and Kathy's house that Mike was saving, and y'all took it after you killed him. Okay? Absolutely. And I'm telling you right now, we're going to prove it. If you think she's not going to crack on you when we do, then you're mistaken.
We're not here because we think you did it, or you might have did it. We know you did it. Okay, we're just here as a courtesy. I'm just telling you, Ross. Financially, at the time, things were really bad. We've got text messages between you and Amy saying you don't have the money a few weeks before. And you said it the best. Follow the money. We did that. It led right into your single wide. It's piling up, Ross. You don't want to roll the dice on this, I'm telling you. It's not going to come up pretty.
Let's just play this out in a hypothetical, right?
Right.
If, for instance, Amy and I decided to, or if I decided to take a deal,
right,
mine is going to be better than Amy's because I came to the trough first, right?
Right.
So, prison time, no matter what. Amy, prison time, no matter what. My 3 kids in here, they grew up without a father and a mother. Granted, my mother would be more than willing to take them. I understand that.
We're not the ones who put you on this predicament. Now you're going to have to deal with the consequences.
10, 20 years in prison. That's best case minimum scenario, I would imagine, right?
It's better than the rest of your life or death, isn't it?
I mean, it might as well be one of those two. By the time I get out, my kids aren't going to know who the I am. I mean, the other option is I probably need to talk to a lawyer at this juncture here.
All right, Ross.
It's free to
I
go.
respect that.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
I think we did the best we could, playing off each of them as much as we could. Amy was a lot more distance. I think you saw that with her answers. Ross, he stayed in there. He wanted to hear what we had. What do you think is going on in that house tonight? I mean, this will be an interesting couple of hours for him tonight, talking with Amy and their pillow talk. I'd love to hear that. Nice job, buddy. Nice job.
That was I ain't gonna lie, that was a little nerve-wracking.
It was.
Still priceless though, what he said. Follow the money. That's what I would do. I'm like, it leads to you.
We're dying to know what happened.
I think it went pretty good. Ross come out and we talked for a little over 2 hours. She was a little different, I don't think she really wanted to talk to us. She was very standoffish. I just got the vibe we weren't really going to get a lot with her. So we got just what we needed and let her go back in, and then Ross come back out and got in the truck with us. One thing I did find interesting that Ross said is he tells us now that they left Halloween night.
Because before he even said he went to sleep at 9 o'clock.
Halloween night. We came back down here.
So Halloween night, y'all come to Columbia.
Correct.
I asked him if he remembers owning a pair of Asics. And then I showed him the picture, and he said, oh, yeah, I had those shoes. Those were my shoes. And I said, well, those shoes are printed in blood in the crime scene. You're at the Quick Trip. We're in those shoes the night of the murders. Okay.
What do you think he's doing right now?
I think they're panicking.
We didn't need Amy and Ross to dig a bigger hole for themselves, but I'm sure glad they did. I cannot remember a case where we've had so much circumstantial evidence. It's very clear that we can eliminate the possibility of an unknown suspect because every single thing that we have uncovered points directly at Amy and Ross Velarde. Set the scenario for, in the whole world, who was mad at Kathy and Mike. There was only one person upset, and that was Amy. And we also heard from people that knew Amy all the way back when she was a little girl. I hate my mother. I wish she was dead. You also have videos of them arguing, too.
Well, I can't sit there and just let you be alone with my children right now. Why? What will I do to them? Emotional damage.
Tells an 80-something-year-old lady, I hope you die.
Sanders? Yeah, that's right, Candy. I know that.
Yeah, I'll show you stuff.
Yep. See ya. Hope you
Yeah,
die.
look.
And then the timing. The kids happened to be gone and lie about going to bed at 9 o'clock when they're really buying beer at 9:38. And what's your favorite part about the crime scene?
So this many victims, all with knife wounds. To me, that screams someone who was trained how to use a knife. Marine training, for example, they teach you go for soft tissue with the neck being their primary target with a knife. Our suspect just happens to be a Marine.
And he claims he was never issued a K-bar combat knife, which many Marines are.
Mine is going to be the footprint, from the shoe. We have him on video at the Quick Trip, what we believe before the murders, wearing clothes and this ASIC shoe, which we've confirmed the shoe print in blood inside the crime scene is from an ASIC shoe.
And what happened to Ross's clothes that he had on that night? Never found
Never found them.
And now they're telling you they went to Blythewood Halloween night. But what do you have them texting each other about?
Amy texting Ross that they're all up, laughing, and Devlin presented he could prove that came from that property.
There's all their calls here that you've got. They're always hitting off of this tower, which is covering both trailers.
And then the money.
Ross told us they were making, almost $100,000 in 2015, which is clearly a lie. They were struggling.
They were in such dire financial straits, it was unbelievable.
So I think they realized their world was about to crash down.
Yep.
They were desperate, and they knew that Mike had money inside. They had nowhere else to turn. They were losing everything, and this was the only way out.
And we presented him today with the fact that there's $100 bills that are depicted on Mike's Facebook.
And the serial numbers match the money on the bills recovered from Amy and Ross's trailer. So tell me how you're going to end your presentation.
I want to tell them that we believe we have enough to go see a judge today. And I think we end it with Ross's line, follow the money.
Follow the money. And you find out where the real motives are.
If they're on board, we're going to leave their office and drive straight to our magistrate's office and get warrants.
Can't wait for you to call us tomorrow.
I'm extremely pleased to announce
that 2 arrests have been made in connections with the brutal murders of Kathy Scott, Mike Scott, Barbara Scott, and Violet Taylor. We have arrested Ross Moore, aka Ross, Wayne Velarde, and Amy Velarde. They have been charged with murder, 4, and quadruple homicide. This is a case that rocked our county extremely hard, and I can't wait to see justice served.
Guys, morning, Sheriff.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Morning, Sheriff.
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you.
Excited for this morning, right?
Very excited. This is definitely very special.
Yeah.
This family's been waiting for this for a long time.
Well, let's go tell them.
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. So, I know y'all been waiting a long time, 8 long years, for justice. And we have them. They're in custody. We've made the arrest. You know, this is the day that you've been waiting for. Very patiently, and we appreciate you waiting so long. I know it's hard. Wow. You know, this is big news for us too, so we're very excited. You know, we want to get in there and roll up our sleeves because we want to get these convictions, so.
I'm not sure what I'm feeling right now. Thankful, excited. I just have so many emotions. It's that day that we've all hoped for, that we've all prayed for, that we've all believed one day was coming. But it's unreal. Thank you all so much. I just can't express my gratitude to all of you.
And thank y'all for not giving up on our case. I know it's been hard for even you guys. We appreciate your diligences in that because there were some days that we didn't think this would ever come.
I think it's important just to remember our faith. And we have had faith in God, and we've had faith in you and the Sheriff's Department, and now we'll put our faith in the Attorney General's office, and this is good. This is very good.
It is.
Nice. Well, we'll let y'all go start telling the rest of your family, right?
Yeah, thank you so much.
I like this morning, Sheriff.
Thank you.
So happy to give you good news. Yeah, these guys are wonderful. The case was beautifully put together. Everybody in the community cooperated and was excited to tell what they knew.
Yeah.
I know what you are now.
Okay.
Working with the Sheriff's Office was really special because they're so good at what they do. Finally, they got where they needed to be, and this family's finally going to get the justice they've been looking for 8 years. I wish they could all be like this.
She would do anything for her kids.
She was very proud to be a mother. She was so committed.
And with a new man by her side, there was nothing that could stop her.
Things were on the up and up.
The couple wanted to take it to the next level.
It was just really a beautiful thing to watch.
Until the family vanished.
The whole house was empty.
Why would she move and not tell anybody? Something wasn't right.
The disappearance triggers a desperate search.
I started making calls.
I was printing flyers at work.
We wanted to hold out hope.
But a horrific discovery will put hope to the test.
I remember my uncle yelling up, "There's something down here."
Whoever did this had to be a sick, deranged individual.
That day was just rough.
And it could get even worse.
You tell me where them kids are.
June 5th, 2014. It's a bright summer morning in Detroit, Michigan, a Rust Belt city that's hustling to pull itself up by the bootstraps.
Detroit is a grinding, a hard-working city. You come here, you're going to love and have a passion for the city.
Now, I'm proud to say I'm from Detroit, and I never plan on leaving, honestly.
The morning marks a significant milestone for one Detroit family. Alicia Fox's daughter, Kayla, is graduating kindergarten.
Alicia was extremely excited, so excited that she bought Kayla a custom cap and gown.
It should have been one of the best days ever.
But as the ceremony is about to begin, Kayla's teacher realizes something is wrong.
I'm standing, getting the kindergartners up to go to the stage. And we get to the last student, and I realize Kayla wasn't in line.
Her mother is missing too.
I did a 360 and looked through the audience, and Alicia was not present.
Alicia's husband, Aaron Justice, and their 8-month-old son was absent as well.
The only family member in the crowd is Kayla's father.
Hey, have you seen Alicia or Kayla anywhere?
Kayla's dad was just as puzzled as her teacher.
I've been calling her phone all day, but it's been going straight to voicemail.
So weird. She was so excited about this. She wouldn't miss this.
Unable to reach Alicia, he tries her sister.
Kayla's dad called me saying, "Where's Alicia? Where's Kayla?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "They didn't show up to the graduation." She talked about it all of the time.
At this point, they're starting to be concerned.
There was no way that Alicia was going to miss Kayla's graduation.
Something wasn't right.
"27-year-old Alicia Fox had spent her whole life in the city of Detroit.
We grew up on the east side of Detroit. My mom raised us all. It was 3 girls and 3 boys. And Alicia was like the second mom because, you know, she was the oldest. Alicia was always the one to protect her loved ones. I just remember her being a sweetheart. Alicia was versatile. She could tell a joke. She, make people laugh. She would cook and plan family events. She was a backbone to, someone who needed support.
Although by 20 years old, Alicia was busy supporting a family of her own.
After graduating high school, Alicia got very close with a male friend that she grew up with.
They met, I believe it was elementary school. His mom says that she knew that they were gonna grow up and sparks were gonna fly.
They ended up falling in love, and they ended up having a daughter.
I don't think that Kayla was planned, but when they found out about her, they both were equally excited. She was very proud to be a mother. Her entire life became Kayla. They were best friends. Like, you never really saw Alicia without Kayla.
Alicia and Kayla's father soon went their separate ways, though.
There was like a mutual understanding. Co-parenting seemed real easy. They got along well, and I just never seen any issues or problems. Everything they did was in the best interest of Kayla. They communicated with each other. They were able to come together whenever they needed to for Kayla.
Before long, there would be another man in Alicia and Kayla's lives, Aaron Justice.
Alicia and Aaron started dating in 2012.
Oh my gosh, thank you. We're starving.
I gotta take care of my girls.
Much like Kayla's father before him, Alicia had known Aaron for a long time.
They knew each other since Alicia was a teenager. They had a mutual group of friends, so he was always around.
Even though she wasn't trying to be in a relationship, he was smooth, he was suave, and they ended up getting together.
Aaron was very chivalrous. He was pretty much a sweetheart to Alicia.
He also had her back.
He came into Alicia's life and he encouraged Alicia to go back to school to be a medical assistant.
I vividly remember he would make promises to her and she would be like, well, don't flake on me, don't say it if you're not gonna do it. And he'd be like, I promise Scout's honor.
Aaron kept his promise too, helping take care of Kayla while Alicia went back to school.
You sure you don't mind?
Of course, baby. Let's go. You gotta ace that test.
He and Kayla did have a pretty good relationship, playing around, watching TV, playing games. And Kayla, was cool hanging around him, having him there.
Aaron was so good with Kayla. He was exactly what Alicia had been looking for. So she could see herself spending the rest of her life with him.
And as Alicia was finishing her medical assistant certification, she gave birth to the couple's son, Christian.
She was extremely excited. She wanted more kids, but she wanted a boy.
Erin was just as excited as Alicia.
And for Alicia, it looked like she'd really hit the jackpot.
After Alicia had Christian, they got married. They moved into a bigger house.
Everything happened very fast, but I was just happy that she was happy. I love seeing her happy.
Things seemed like they were on the up and up.
But now, on the day of Kayla's kindergarten graduation, the entire family is a no-show.
Alicia had been working hard for weeks to make this moment special. It made no sense.
There was just too much invested in it. She wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Concerned, Alicia's family desperately tries to reach her.
I called her phone, text her, called Aaron's phone, text him. I didn't get through to anybody.
Alicia's sister called other family and friends too, but they hadn't heard from Alicia either.
By the end of the night, I was worried enough to start calling hospitals. I couldn't sleep at all.
The next morning, Alicia's sister and several family members decide to go over to her house.
Alicia!
Alicia, you here?
There was no answer to their knocks, and there was no car in the driveway.
Someone discovered a window was unlocked, so they climbed in and opened the door.
But inside, they find nothing.
All of their stuff was gone.
Everyone thought Alicia Fox had found her fairy tale ending when she fell for 28-year-old Aaron Justice.
I do remember her being really, really happy.
They moved into a bigger house and they got married. So I thought everything was well.
But now, after Alicia missed her daughter's kindergarten graduation, relatives have found her house empty and abandoned.
We all get that feeling where it's like something's not right. That was pretty much the feeling that I had.
It wouldn't have been like Alicia to just pack up her things and the kids' things and just leave without telling her family.
Wherever they were, it doesn't appear that they left in a hurry.
The house was spotless. You would have assumed that it was professionally cleaned.
The whole house smelled like bleach.
And when she searches the basement, Alicia's sister finds a stash of empty bleach containers.
Which raised the red flag, because it's like, why so much bleach?
Was the empty house also a crime scene? Fearing the worst, Alicia's sister goes straight to the police.
I made a missing persons report for everyone, and then Kayla's dad made a separate report on behalf of Kayla.
Alicia's family tells the police officers the last time they saw Alicia was at Memorial Day. She was her normal, bubbly self, and she didn't say anything about moving out of town.
Once Alicia's sister files the report, officers accompany her back to the house.
Of course, they didn't see anything indicative of foul play.
The house was bare. That might lead one to believe the whole family moved, and they just didn't tell anybody.
That's essentially what one neighbor tells the police, as they're leaving the empty house.
He walked over and says, "Oh, they just moved."
Well, there was a moving van out here a while ago.
Maybe Aaron and Alicia got into some financial situation, and they can no longer afford the rent here.
If it was due to money troubles, maybe they were too embarrassed to tell anyone.
The family doesn't think so.
That doesn't make any sense.
They're an extremely close-knit family. So for Alicia not to ask for help with the move, or at least share the news, just didn't seem like her.
But at this point, the police are hesitant to launch a full-scale search.
They gave me a report number, pretty much told me, wait to see if you hear from her, you know.
That's it?
That's it. Have a good day.
Many adults leave. They're grown. They can leave on their own. They can come back when they want to.
Unsatisfied, Alicia's family sets out to find their loved ones on their own.
We pretty much started doing our own investigating.
Starting with her sister's social media posts.
On Alicia's social media, a lot of the posts were trying to portray that she was taking the kids to Cedar Point instead of going to Kayla's graduation.
Cedar Point is an amusement park that is 2 hours away.
This is not making any sense.
She had never said anything about skipping the graduation.
Kayla, she's barely tall enough to ride rides. Why would she skip out on this graduation to go to Cedar Point?
There was nothing in Alicia's social media about moving out of their house either.
Something seemed off.
The contents of the posts aren't all that's off either.
The verbiage is different in these posts. She doesn't talk like this. She doesn't use this kind of punctuation.
For Alicia's sister, the implications are clear.
And she does not type like this, no.
Someone else had made the posts.
Why would someone pose as Alicia?
More worried than ever that something horrible has happened, Alicia's sister and her family reach back out to the police.
I'm telling you, she did not post this stuff.
Police ask, is there anyone that would want to do harm to Alicia?
It's a question the family has a hard time answering.
Alicia didn't have enemies.
The only person they could possibly think of was her ex.
Kayla's father?
No, it was a man between him and her husband.
According to Alicia Fox's family, the missing mother of two had a complicated history with her ex-boyfriend, a man named Nick Barnes.
Alicia and Nick's relationship wasn't the best.
They were young, and he made some decisions, you know, that were detrimental to their relationship.
He was a drug dealer, somewhat unsavory character.
In addition to his past relationship with Alicia, Nick also had a history with Alicia's husband, Aaron.
He was not only Alicia's ex, he was Aaron's former best friend.
But that had changed after Nick's drug dealing landed him in jail.
While he was on the inside, Nick asked Aaron to check up on Alicia.
That's when he stepped in and became that supportive friend, trying to help her.
He tried to be a comforting shoulder to Alicia.
Although it wasn't long before Aaron was doing more than just comforting Alicia.
He and Alicia hit it off, and they ended up together.
The family was real happy about their relationship.
I do remember feeling happy that she moved on from being with Nick.
However, when Nick got out of jail, he wasn't as happy about how things had worked out.
He was furious with both Aaron and Alicia. I mean, his friend is now dating his ex-girlfriend.
He regularly let them know how he felt about what he considered their betrayal.
Nick had a history of harassing them. It was so bad that Aaron and Alicia had to move across town. Is this enough to say Nick is the reason the family has disappeared?
Alicia's friends and family aren't so sure.
I would have never thought that he found out where she stayed and then did something to them or anything like that. Because he did love her. You could tell that he loved her, for sure.
But with the whole family missing, detectives aren't so quick to rule it out.
Nick's criminal past raised a lot of red flags.
There was enough information there to make them think possibly he was involved. He's an ex-boyfriend, he's got a criminal past, he had jealousy and resentment for the relationship that Alicia and Aaron had. So Nick had to be looked at as a possible suspect.
But when detectives reach out, Nick isn't interested in talking.
Hello?
This is homicide detective.
I want you to come down to the station to answer some questions about the disappearance of Alicia Fox.
Look, if you want to talk to me, call my lawyer.
Nick has dealt with the police before. He's done time, so he knew how the game was played.
Which only leaves detectives more suspicious.
Once you are able to talk to that person and you find out they're not cooperative, you would see what other information you could find out.
While detectives dig deeper into Nick, the family's frustration grows, and they decide to launch their own effort to find Alicia and the others.
We'd hit the ground running.
Alicia's family is in the streets trying to figure out, does anybody have an idea what happened to Alicia and her family?
We had a couple people call and say, oh, I think I saw her. She was walking the baby in a stroller. So we go over there, we're searching, you know, pretty much excited. We did find the girl who actually resembled Alicia, but wasn't her.
Then, on June 9th, 4 days after Kayla's kindergarten graduation, the family receives an anonymous tip.
The tipster tells them he got the number from this flyer that was posted around the city, and they should go check out this abandoned home on the west side of Detroit.
The tipster provided an address, but no other details.
Alicia's family races to the abandoned house.
We called the police, but we beat them there.
At that point, they weren't about to wait.
We pulled the boards off the house.
Despite the boards, the abandoned house shows signs of activity.
You could tell that, you know, probably squatters had been in the house.
Hey, Alicia! Kayla!
As they approached the basement stairs, Alicia's uncle held everybody else back.
Stay right here, stay right here.
There was this really eerie feeling.
While the rest of the family waits upstairs, Alicia's uncle descends into the basement.
I remember my uncle just yelling up the stairs, there's something down here. We ran downstairs.
He found an old door lying on top of something wrapped in a tarp.
He lifted the door up and pulled the tarp back.
There is a dead body in the basement.
Alicia Fox's loved ones have spent 4 anxious days combing the streets of Detroit for the missing mother, her husband Aaron, and their 2 children. But now an anonymous tip has brought their frantic search to a devastating end.
The family went to an abandoned house and found a body in the basement.
It was Alicia. I knew that it was her. She had on her favorite purple basketball shorts.
At that point, it was too late. Everyone knew that Alicia was dead.
That day was just rough.
Outside the house, Alicia's uncle calls the police, while her sister contacts the father of Alicia's daughter.
I remember telling him, we had found her.
He's at the abandoned house within minutes, before the police even arrive.
He ran in, because he couldn't believe it. He had to see it for himself. All I remember thinking is, right now, he's terrified about the safety of his daughter.
Police and homicide detectives get to the scene soon after.
Homicide investigators respond to the scene. Even if the cause of death is not known, it is a suspicious death.
Any sign of other kids?
No, nothing.
After speaking with the officer, detectives see what potential clues they can uncover from Alicia's remains.
A quick examination of the body confirmed that they were dealing with a homicide.
Alicia had been shot 6 times with 2 shots to the head.
However, that's not the only injury Alicia suffered.
It also appears, while trying to dispose of her body, Alicia's killer tried to sever her legs.
It was a very graphic scene.
Whoever did this to Alicia had to be a sick, deranged individual.
It's also evident to detectives that Alicia's murder had occurred well before the family reported her missing.
The body was in a state of decomposition, and it was determined that Alicia had been in the basement possibly more than 4 days.
In fact, police think she might have been killed not long after the family last saw her 2 weeks ago.
But officers don't locate any other bodies inside the house.
Where is Aaron Justice? Where are the children?
Could they still be alive?
Only one thing is certain. The family search is far from over.
I was just trying my best to be strong for everybody, because as much as I wanted to or needed to mourn, I knew that there was still going to be a job to be done.
While the family clings to hope, the detectives have to consider a different possibility.
Maybe Aaron wasn't the victim. Maybe he was the killer.
Is that why Alicia's body was the only one in the house? Could Aaron have killed her and ran off with the kid?
Quietly, the detectives decide to do a little digging into Aaron.
They find out he has some very serious charges in his rap sheet.
Aaron had weapons possession charges and a prior domestic violence assault.
That's definitely a red flag.
That type of behavior can escalate. And the one thing about domestic abuse, it can escalate quickly, and it can go places we never wanted to go.
When the detectives follow up with her family, they all say Alicia and Aaron's marriage seemed fine.
Anytime I talked to Alicia about their relationship, it was always something positive.
For the most part, she seemed happy. I thought they were just going through the typical marriage stuff.
Or could there have been more going on than Alicia's family knew?
A lot of the times, women are hiding what happens. So to the outside world, they're thinking, hey, you guys have a perfect relationship, you look good, and they don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
The first indication of trouble comes when a friend of Aaron's reaches out to detectives.
He tells the police Aaron had confided in him that Alicia and him were fighting all the time.
He said she was talking about getting a divorce.
This could be a clear motive that he would try to harm her.
But it's what the man says next that really grabs the detective's attention.
Aaron texted him a picture of a gun and asked him, did he want to buy it?
When was that?
Last Saturday,
31st.
I guess.
That was only a few days before Alicia went missing, likely right after she had been killed.
Was Aaron trying to get rid of a murder weapon?
Detectives investigating the murder of 27-year-old Alicia Fox have learned that shortly after someone shot her 6 times, her husband, Aaron Justice, was trying to sell a .40 caliber handgun.
That would lead an investigator to wonder if the ballistics on that gun would be matched to what was found at the scene where Alicia was discovered.
To prove that it was the murder weapon, they would need to get their hands on the gun.
Did you buy the gun? Nah, I don't get involved in that kind of stuff.
It's a disappointment for detectives, but Aaron's friend does share some other potentially valuable information.
Aaron may have been having an affair.
That might have been possibly why she wanted to divorce him.
It definitely is a betrayal of emotion, of security, of family.
She would have never wanted that going on in front of her kids.
The fact that Alicia and Aaron's marriage may have been in trouble is news to her family.
I was pretty surprised when I found out. There wasn't something where I felt like, oh, they're on the verge of getting a divorce.
I thought that she was in love and happy.
We see it a lot. It's hush-hush behind closed doors, and nobody in the family really knows how bad it is.
The suspicion surrounding Aaron only grows once the family hears rumors that he is alive and well.
According to the rumors, he was in Atlanta.
At that point, somebody in the family blurted out, he's running.
When detectives learn that Aaron may be in Atlanta, they work to track him down.
They're hopeful with finding him that the children will be with him.
They start their search by obtaining a subpoena for Aaron's cell phone records.
Almost everyone has a cell phone, and cell phone signals can be traced.
After confirming that Aaron was in Atlanta, the detectives contacted the FBI.
There was a warrant issued for Aaron's arrest.
It wasn't long for federal agents to find him and track him down and bring him into custody.
Unfortunately, when they made the arrest, there was no sign of Kayla or Christian.
With Aaron in custody, investigators waste no time getting him into an interrogation room.
I had immense hope that the police were going to be able to get a location of the children out of him.
But when questioned, Aaron has little to say.
Everybody wants to know where the kids are. I don't know where they are.
He played dumb the entire time, like he had no idea what happened to Alicia or the kids.
Talk about.
We're not talking. You should. You should have a whole lot to say. You should be telling us who you gave your kids to.
I'm telling you, like a man, I don't know where they are.
Aaron not only denied knowing anything about the location of the kids, he also denied being involved in Alicia's murder.
Yeah, we know Alicia's dead, because we found her. That's a given. You killed Alicia?
No.
Aaron said that the last time he saw Alicia, she was alive and angry.
He told the officer, she put me out, she asked me for a divorce.
That confirms some of what the detectives had heard from their friends.
But they won't get confirmation on anything else.
You gonna take this to the grave?
So what to the grave?
Everything.
No, I don't know everything.
Your guilt? You gonna take your guilt to the grave, man?
I don't guilt. I don't know.
Investigators tried very hard, but he still didn't give up any meaningful information.
Killed your wife. I know that for sure. My biggest issue, I would like to know where that child is at.
The fact that you're still holding on to where the kids are, that is like pure evil.
You tell me where you placed them.
I didn't place them nowhere.
You had them last?
Here we go with you.
Here we go with you. I'm not the one wearing the green little jumpsuit. You are.
However, while Aaron is in custody, it's unclear if prosecutors will be able to put him away for good.
The evidence against Aaron was entirely circumstantial at this point.
With Aaron stonewalling detectives and no new leads coming in, it looks like the case may come apart. Until Alicia's sister gets an unexpected tip about a friend of Aaron's named Timothy Jones.
I got a call from someone who knew Timothy, and they told me that Timothy had been going around the neighborhood telling people that Aaron killed Alicia, and he paid him to hide the body.
As soon as she's off the phone with the informant, Alicia's sister contacts the lead detective.
I let him know what they're telling me, and within like a day or so, they had picked Timothy up.
As soon as the detective sat Tim down for questioning, he broke down.
I did a really bad thing.
Detectives investigating Alicia Fox's murder and the disappearance of her 2 children are following up on a tip that a man named Timothy Jones may be involved.
Timothy was an old friend of Aaron's.
They had reason to believe Tim may know something about what happened to Alicia. Therefore, they bring Tim in and interview him.
Tim tells police Aaron called him to come over for Memorial Day weekend and help out with something. They've been friends forever, so he didn't think much of it.
But when I got there, something just seemed off.
Aaron was really upset, and he basically admitted that he had just shot his wife.
Did he say why? Said they got in a fight.
Aaron told him that Alicia said that she wanted a divorce.
It's over, Aaron.
Over?
Yes.
Oh, I'll show you over. So, he shot her. Yeah, I guess. He said he blacked out.
Once he came to, he realized he was holding a gun and Alicia was dead.
Whether Aaron actually did black out or not, Tim says he has little doubt that Aaron did kill Alicia.
Because after confessing, Tim says Aaron asked him to help get rid of the evidence.
Did you? Yeah, man, I've known him since elementary school.
Tim picked up some shell casings from the gun. He threw them in the sewer.
He says he also helped Aaron load Alicia's body into a rental truck.
That was the same truck that neighbors had seen outside of the house.
Just right over there.
After Tim helped Aaron get rid of the body, he said Aaron paid him.
He paid him Alicia's jewelry, which was a pair of Cartier glasses and a watch.
However, Tim says he doesn't know what's become of Alicia's 2 children.
He says when he left Aaron's house that day, the children were still alive.
It appears he is telling the truth.
Detectives had Tim take a polygraph test, and he passed.
Then, detectives take Tim back to the crime scene, where they recover 4 .40 caliber shell casings from the storm drain.
That was the same caliber as the gun that Aaron was trying to sell around the time of the murder.
With the evidence against him piling up, detectives are confident they can now secure a conviction against Aaron Justice. While Aaron sits in the Wayne County Jail awaiting trial, the search for Alicia's missing children continues.
We searched houses and commercial buildings and streets. We even did grid searches of forests and rivers.
Months go by with no trace of Kayla or Christian. And unfortunately, they were never found.
With no bodies and nothing but circumstantial evidence against Aaron, he was never charged with anything regarding their disappearance.
And he won't stand trial for Alicia's murder either.
When trial came and we got to court and the judge told us that he had accepted a plea deal, it was a surprise to everybody.
With Tim set to testify against him, Aaron's attorney probably saw conviction coming.
In September of 2015, Aaron Justice pleads guilty to murder.
When he took the plea deal, I don't remember him showing any kind of emotion or remorse. He was just sitting there, like he just did not care. Like something is really wrong with him. And he's just sitting there, not crying, not looking like he had any remorse for doing this. It made me want to beat the shit out of him, honestly. Just jump over the thing, grab something, and like beat him with it or something. Because it pisses me off and it makes me so angry.
In return for his plea, Aaron is sentenced to between 45 and 80 years in prison.
When most people hear that a defendant received 45 to 80 years, they think it's justice. I don't think that. I don't think that 45 to 80 years of not being able to walk in the free world I don't think it suffices for what he did.
And no amount of prison time can bring back the woman he took away.
Alicia was everything to a lot of people. She was nearly the backbone to my family. She kept a lot of us together, so much so that losing her has kind of changed the dynamic of my family. She was everybody's favorite. And I want people to remember Alicia for her energetic personality and her goofy laugh, and just that she was someone that you can always count on.
Alicia never deserved anything like this. She was just so sweet. She loved everything. And she was definitely a strong woman, for sure.
But most of all, the family wishes the prosecutors would have put one more condition on Aaron's plea deal.
It definitely should have involved him telling us where the kids are. Because, like, he takes the plea deal and then he just goes to prison. But what about the kids? And it makes me really, really angry. Because it's like they think they did their job, but really no, because you still have 2 missing children. We're out here still suffering. Like, we cannot move on.
It is just very troubling that there's a plea deal and he has information, yet it's not being shared. There should never be a plea deal until all the information is out on the table.
I definitely still have hope and faith that one day we will find the kids. But as time goes on, it gets harder and harder. The feeling of not knowing makes it 1,000 times worse, because we just don't know.
Kayla and Christian meant everything to Alicia. And if there's anybody out there who has any information that could help bring them home to the family that Alicia loved, I'm sure that it will bring Alicia some peace.
If you have any information on the disappearance of Kayla Hunter or Christian Justice, please contact Crime Stoppers of Michigan. She came to the Lone Star State for a fresh start.
She's been talking about moving to Texas her entire life.
She's looking for a new career and a place where she can really put down roots.
What she found was a chance at love.
They immediately hit it off. He sweeps her off her feet. She was really starting to get excited.
But then, she simply vanished.
She's here one minute and gone the next.
It gave me the goosebumps.
Nothing is adding up.
Did she leave on her own?
She was definitely always on the go.
She needed her space.
Or was there someone behind her disappearance?
Said she faked it up.
The dude fooled everybody.
Either way, one family is desperate for answers.
They search and search.
We had like 100+ people.
If it's your child, you're gonna hold off as long as you can.
October 10th, 2016. It's Monday night in Fort Worth, Texas, a fast-growing city of close to 1 million.
It plays second fiddle to Dallas, but Fort Worth is definitely a big, bustling city in its own right.
You're gonna see the 10-gallon hats. You're gonna see the cowboy boots. It's more of a Wild West.
And while cattle drives and gunslingers may be a thing of the past, the city still has its share of crime.
We need police, fire, ambulance.
Police.
It's a little before 11 p.m. when Rebecca Jones places a worried call to Tarrant County 911.
She says that Tiffany Johnson, her boyfriend's sister, is missing.
Like, she was downstairs, and it's been an hour.
She said that she was just going downstairs and that she should be right back up.
Rebecca tells the dispatcher that Tiffany's brother had gone down earlier to search for her.
I had noticed that Tiffany's car keys were sitting on top of the car on the driver's side.
And they find her phone in the grass.
Oh, man.
She would never leave her phone laying on the ground.
You better call the cops.
Why? This prompts them to definitely make a call because something strange has happened.
Do you think there's a possibility she might have gone for a drive or something?
No, her keys were on top of her car.
She knows that she's not gonna leave with her keys on the car.
And it seems like something must have happened so quickly that she didn't have time to take these items with her.
You are sure she's not outside?
Yes, we checked everywhere.
All of a sudden, Tiffany was there, and the next moment she was gone.
Nothing is adding up.
Growing up in Iowa, 25-year-old Tiffany was always trying to bring out the best in people.
Tiffany is one of a kind. She has the personality to brighten up your day.
She always just wanted to help people. She'd give up anything just to make sure the next person had it.
As kids, Tiffany and her siblings were always inseparable.
We were each other's best friends, like growing up.
But her strongest bond was with her twin brother.
We were peanut butter jelly.
Those two were always close. They had that twinning feeling between them. She was always getting in trouble with Asher.
She was a tomboy, really.
She was definitely always on the go.
But as Tiffany got older, her interests began to change.
When she got into high school was when she kind of started going and doing her own thing.
She just grew out of the tomboy stage, so we just became a girly girl.
She kind of got more into makeup and doing hair, and she started having boyfriends.
She was actually fairly popular.
After high school, Tiffany and her family drifted apart, and things like jobs and military service took them far from Iowa.
Yeah, it was kind of difficult. I know she was having a hard time with it too, but we tried to keep in contact as much as we could.
But after a visit to her brother Asher in Texas, The twins reunited.
Honestly, she loved Texas.
I could definitely see myself living here.
She liked the view, she liked the weather there.
So she kind of just wanted to go down there to be with her twin.
You should just move here then. Stay with me until you get on your feet.
I was living in an apartment and I was struggling, and she ended up moving into my apartment and we were struggling together.
It was really hard. I didn't want her to go that far, but she really enjoyed meeting new people, so it was really good for her.
She's got all her hopes and dreams in front of her. She's looking for a new career and starting to find a place where she can really put down roots.
It didn't take long for Tiffany to seize the opportunities her new home had to offer.
She lands a job at an insurance company, and so things are really going well for Tiffany.
But as a young woman in her mid-20s, she longed for more.
She was thinking, okay, I've hit a few milestones. And at this point, one of the only things that's missing is a romantic partner.
Then she met 32-year-old Christopher Reville.
She met him out one night. Chris had a good job working with an electrician, and he was taken by Tiffany's beauty.
Maybe we could do dinner sometime.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
They immediately hit it off.
He also got along well with Tiffany's twin brother.
I'm new out here. I didn't know nobody at that time, so I was looking for friends, obviously, too. And just him being around so much, we start talking and getting to know each other. We'd hang out and drink a few beers, watch Monday Night Football.
Soon, Chris wasn't just hanging out at Tiffany and Asher's apartment. He lived there.
He moved in with Tiffany.
They're really excited about moving forward with their new life.
She was very hopeful for a future, for marriage and a family. And she saw herself having that with Chris.
But now, Tiffany has mysteriously disappeared, leaving her keys and phone behind.
She doesn't go anywhere without her car keys. She doesn't go anywhere without her phone.
Something has gone terribly wrong.
The reason may have had something to do with what Tiffany's friend Rebecca told the 911 dispatcher.
She was last seen downstairs talking to her ex-boyfriend.
A year and a half after moving to Texas for a fresh start, it appeared that Tiffany Johnson had found true love with 32-year-old Christopher Reville.
They are making plans to start that next stage in their relationship.
Everything is going great, and she just thinks this is going to be the perfect ending and what she came to Texas for.
Tiffany!
But now, Tiffany's mysteriously disappeared from her apartment.
It's almost as if she vanished, like before their eyes. She's here one minute and gone the next.
Her keys are left on top of her car.
Her cell phone is lying in the grass.
They know something terrible has happened.
But what?
You better call the cops.
When Tiffany's brother's girlfriend, Rebecca, contacts 911, she says Tiffany had been talking with her ex-boyfriend, Christopher Reville, shortly before she disappeared.
They had just, broken up, not that long ago.
All right, man, we'll get police out there.
When police arrive at the apartment, Tiffany's brother, Asher, provides additional details about her ex, Chris.
When did they break up?
About 2 months ago.
But according to Asher and Rebecca, the relationship was never contentious.
Did you ever see them argue?
No, not really. Just regular relationships, not argue, no.
Right. Well, they had a good relationship. It seemed real cordial. If they had an argument, it was always real minor, nitpicking type of things, you know, like an old couple.
Rebecca and Asher, being probably the closest people in Tiffany's lives, they didn't have any concerns about Chris's relationship with Tiffany.
Do you know why they broke up?
What he was telling me that my sister has told him is that she needed to work on herself.
She just was saying like she needed her space.
But according to Tiffany's brother, the breakup wasn't final.
She just said that they're taking a break rather than just be like, hey, it's absolutely over.
Chris had moved out, but he'd never stopped coming around.
After they broke up, he would pop up, but that wasn't really an issue.
Was he like begging, hey, come on, baby, let's work this out?
Not to my knowledge.
Although both knew that Chris still had feelings for Tiffany.
He'd not just pop up, he'd also talk to me sometimes. He did always like ask questions, as in like trying to figure out what my sister was doing.
You could just always tell he's always worried about what Tiffany was doing.
In a sense, she sort of left him hanging.
Meanwhile, Tiffany was making the most of being newly single.
The time apart, you know, made her realize that, you know, maybe she's better off.
While Tiffany did care about Chris, she was ready to explore other potential relationship opportunities.
Rebecca tells the officers that Tiffany had met someone new at the end of September. 26-year-old Devin Bishop.
Devin is someone who Tiffany had met online.
It started off as casual communication back and forth.
She enjoyed having conversation with him. It felt comfortable and flowed easily.
And they'd finally met face-to-face a few days earlier.
Although Tiffany, being cautious, had asked Rebecca to come along as her wingman.
It seemed like she liked him like at the club on Saturday, and he gave us a ride home.
She had an amazing time with him, and she didn't want the night to end.
According to Rebecca, it didn't.
She told detectives that Devin had ended up staying the night with Tiffany.
They have an intimate relationship then? I don't think they did anything, unless she just doesn't want me to know, like she didn't say. But he was real gentleman, respectful to her.
Rebecca, she felt as though it was actually just a good time, good conversation.
Either way, things had gone so well that Tiffany planned to see him again, just a few hours before she vanished.
She invited him to come have dinner at night.
She said that after they got off work that day, she and Tiffany had picked up some groceries.
Then she'd help Tiffany make dinner.
She was just saying, oh, I can't wait.
They're in the kitchen together, working and preparing a meal. And Tiffany hears a knock on the door.
He's like an hour early. He's this early? Okay, how do I look?
Tiffany, being very excited about her upcoming dinner, is excited to answer it.
Tiffany is thinking that it's Devin.
Instead, the evening was about to get a little awkward.
Hey, Tiff.
According to Tiffany's brother Asher and his girlfriend Rebecca, Tiffany's ex-boyfriend Chris Reville showed up at their apartment shortly before Tiffany disappeared.
Tiffany and Rebecca are shocked when they open up the door.
It's Chris standing there.
Hey, Tiff. Is Asher around?
We didn't know he was gonna come be there.
There was a bit of panic because she's anticipating another date with Devin, and here's Chris.
According to Tiffany's brother, it was all a miscommunication.
Chris had hit me up and we were gonna watch a football game. Well, I didn't know that Tiffany was having her other friend come over at that time.
Rebecca says that once Asher was talking to Chris, she and Tiffany went into the kitchen.
I was like, what are you gonna do?
Rebecca knew that Chris still had feelings for Tiffany.
And Devin was on his way.
If Chris realized Tiffany was seeing someone else, things could get complicated.
Tiffany is trying to figure out how to get rid of him as quickly as she could.
When Chris stepped out on the balcony, Tiffany had seized the chance.
That's when she had notified me, hey, Chris needs to go. Like, it's gonna be awkward if they're both here.
From Asher's perspective, this put him in a very difficult position.
Well, what do you want me to say?
No, just figure it out.
Do you have the rest of this? Then, according to Rebecca, Tiffany had headed out the door to try to catch Devin before he arrived.
She was like, no, I'm gonna tell him we need to go to Walmart or something. Just tell him.
That allows Rebecca and Asher to try to manage Chris and get rid of him.
She was trying to avoid any type of conflict.
So Tiffany runs downstairs to try to get in her car in order to intercept Devin.
That's when the plan had gone awry.
Since their building was pretty far away from the entrance of the apartment complex, she decided to drive there.
Chris and her brother were watching from the balcony as Tiffany got into her car.
Hey, where's she going?
That's when we had both seen her get into her car, back it up, and then pull it back in.
Tiffany texts her brother that her brakes failed.
I did see a puddle of brake oil down there.
Rebecca and Asher are aware that Tiffany has been having a back and forth with her mechanic regarding these brakes.
She had ended up calling one of her other friends, mechanic or something, and the mechanic had come over and fixed the car.
She had just gotten her brakes fixed a couple of days ago, and now they're still not working.
Asher says that after Tiffany's brakes failed, Chris had gone down to check things out.
Looks like your brake line is leaking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was afraid of.
Yeah, you want me to fix it?
According to her brother, Tiffany tried to wave Chris off.
I could see my sister using it just go type of hand movement type of thing.
Actually, I texted the mechanic already, and I need to go meet him out front.
She's got to hustle to try to get in front of Devin to intercept him before he reaches the apartment.
But she was too late.
According to Asher, Devin had seen Chris and Tiffany talking by the car downstairs.
He had tried to introduce himself when he got dropped off. Well, my sister had said, no, just go over there.
So Devin, already knowing where the apartment was from the last night they were out, walks up.
Asher says he let Devin in.
He sat down on the couch, I was sitting in the chair for about 20 minutes.
He's got to keep another man entertained while his sister deals with the old man.
What's even more odd is that Chris returns to the apartment without Tiffany.
I had asked Chris where Tiffany went, and he told me that she must have got picked up by somebody like a mechanic or something.
And according to Asher, Devin's presence in the apartment didn't sit too well with her ex.
Chris was like, no, it's what I expected all along. I just pretty much wanted him to keep his head up type of thing and whatever.
Chris was clearly not happy that Devin wasn't leaving, so Chris eventually left.
After Chris took off, Asher tried to text Tiffany.
He messaged her and waited, but Tiffany did not return any of his texts.
I gave it another about 20 minutes, and so now altogether it's about an hour has passed.
Okay.
And can't contact her. So that's when I decided to go downstairs, because now I'm just worried.
Now dark out, Devin went down with Asher, and together they searched for Tiffany.
It didn't take them long to find something.
Tiffany's car keys were sitting on top of the car, and that was very odd. It's dark, and I had my flashlight on, and I had seen my sister's phone.
That's when Asher really started to panic.
That phone is glued to her hand.
Asher, after finding the phone and the keys, he calls Rebecca and he says something has gone wrong.
Yeah, we just found her phone and her keys.
I was like, don't play, like, are you joking right now?
Asher had to reiterate to her, no, this is serious.
What are you gonna do?
You better call the cops.
Then Asher called Chris.
Hey, Chris.
I said, you need to come back right now. This does not look right.
Chris's response was interesting.
Chris says, it sounds like you're blaming me for something.
Tiffany Johnson's brother Asher says that once he realized Tiffany had disappeared, he'd called her ex, Christopher Reville.
I kind of insinuated that he needed to show up right now because it's not looking good on his part.
Because Chris was the last person that she was seen with. Asher wanted some answers.
Are you coming? Okay. All right, bro. All right.
Chris ultimately tells Asher that he'll be there as soon as he can.
While waiting for Chris to arrive, Asher tells officers that Tiffany's would-be date, Devin, is still at the apartment.
The police question Devin, who confirms everything Asher and Rebecca had said.
A friend had dropped him off at the front gate of the apartment complex. And when he walked in, he had seen Tiffany talking to Chris.
I was going to introduce myself. I stuck my hand out to shake his hand, and she stopped me. She was like, nah, not this guy. Just go upstairs.
He also confirms that Tiffany had texted him about going to Walmart.
But I come to find out that the whole Walmart deal was just to get him to leave.
Mostly, while talking to the police, Devin just seemed confused.
So shit, hey, like,
Yeah.
she just all of a sudden disappeared when I show up.
When Chris arrives at the apartment, he seemed more than willing to talk to the police.
I actually came back to try to help and try to figure out what was going on.
When asked about the breakup, Chris tells the same story that Rebecca and Asher told.
He confirms that he and Tiffany just needed to take some space.
We're still friends, you know, there's no problem.
He goes on to tell police that he'd come over, expecting to hang out with Asher.
Asher, right?
And then he found that Tiffany was having some brake issues. And all he wanted to do was try to help her fix her car problems. But Tiffany shut him down.
He's like, yeah, I'm calling the guy. He's supposed to come over here and take a look at it because I already paid him.
He said that he felt like she didn't need him anymore, and that's why he went upstairs.
And when Asher asked him where Tiffany was, he said she was with the mechanic because he thought that was the plan.
I thought she was gonna be with the guy that was supposed to be fixing her brakes. That's what he said she'd take care of.
Chris's story, it adds up in many ways.
Still, Chris was the last person who'd been seen with Tiffany.
So just to be sure, officers asked Chris if they can search his vehicle.
Chris was happy to oblige.
They searched the front seat, the back seat, and there just appears to be a cooler and just some other junk in the car.
We found no blood. We found none of her hair. We didn't find evidence of the violence that one would expect to incapacitate a person.
And when officers look at Tiffany's phone, they find further confirmation of Chris's story.
They find the text to a man named Lewis.
The text said, "My brakes are leaking again."
That's her mechanic friend.
Police also see Lewis's response.
He'd said he could come right over if it's an emergency.
So at this point in time, Tiffany's text messages corroborates the story that Tiffany could have left with the mechanic.
If you hear from her or she comes back, give us a call.
Of course. We'll go ahead and get this filed at the station and we'll be in touch, okay, guys? All right. Thank you.
When the case is handed over to detectives, they immediately follow up with the mechanic who Tiffany had been texting with just prior to her disappearance.
Hi, this is Detective Heisey with the Fort Worth Police Department. This phone number appeared on Tiffany Johnson's phone records. Is this a good time for me to ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lewis confirms that he had worked on Tiffany's car 2 days before she disappeared.
Okay, so a day or two before.
Right.
He also confirms he had heard from Tiffany again around 9 o'clock that evening.
She had texted me and said, hey, my brakes are leaking again.
Lewis had previously told Tiffany that there was a possibility that her brakes would leak because of an aftermarket product he received from the auto parts store. So he wasn't surprised.
I sent her a screenshot of the right part. And it was like, if she gets the part, I will gladly switch it for her.
She said Tiffany never responded to the texts.
He never leaves his house.
Were you texting with Tiffany that night about the oil line?
Me and my wife was in my living room.
Oh, so your wife was with you?
Yeah, my wife was with me.
When the detectives followed up, his alibi checked out.
Okay. His wife confirms that Lewis didn't leave the house.
Which meant that the detectives were back at square one.
With no other leads, detectives reach out to Tiffany's mother, who lives in South Dakota.
First of all, I'm sorry that we have to be in this situation where she has come up missing. We are working on trying to locate her.
I knew something was wrong. It was just really weird. I don't know what they call it, but I knew.
Without knowing the details, Tiffany's mom immediately tells the detectives to look at Chris.
My first thought went to him.
You just didn't get a good vibe from him.
Not a very good vibe, no.
She didn't feel good about the relationship.
He was always jealous of her, very possessive.
I hated it, but, she believed that she could take care of herself.
Tiffany Johnson's mother has just told detectives that the real reason her daughter broke up with Christopher Reville is because he was overly jealous and controlling.
She had told me there were good times. There's a lot of bad times also.
Tiffany told her mom Chris couldn't handle it whenever another man looked even in her general direction.
She said she's changed her whole appearance just to try to please Chris.
She couldn't wear this, couldn't wear that because other guys were looking at her.
Based on the information provided by Tiffany's mom, detectives want to look at Chris a little further.
If he was as jealous and controlling as her mom said, maybe the realization of Tiffany seeing someone else pushed him to violence.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We'll be in touch.
That afternoon, detectives head to Chris's mother's house with a search warrant.
Chris had been living with his mom since the breakup.
But the search leaves detectives wondering when Tiffany was last there.
What detectives found in Chris's mother's backyard was a black bra with a broken clasp and a tan-colored tank top.
These items match the description of what Tiffany was wearing when she went missing.
Talking to his mother's neighbors, the detectives uncover more evidence that suggests Chris and Tiffany had a contentious relationship.
She'd witnessed Tiffany pulling up one day in her car and Chris running outside yelling at her.
And he was screaming at her, "What the hell you got on?" It was just a sundress.
She witnessed Chris grab Tiffany and she stayed outside watching to make sure that Chris saw her in the hopes that Chris would eventually let Tiffany go.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Have a good day. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
After talking to the neighbors, detectives bring Chris in to confront him with what they found in his mother's backyard.
The police have been over there, and apparently they found a bra. Anything about that?
He claimed that the mother must have been doing laundry out in the back.
When they do laundry, do they hang it out on the clothesline, or they got a dryer, or?
Hang them up sometimes, got a dryer. She still has clothes over at my house.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she got some shirts over there and stuff like that. She had a bra or two.
Chris's story seemed a little too convenient for the detectives, though.
When was the last time that she was over there?
It's been months.
When the interview's over, the detectives place Chris under arrest.
Although there was no body that was recovered, detectives had enough evidence to charge Chris with aggravated kidnapping.
Once Chris is in custody, the detectives head back to his mother's house and search for Tiffany in the surrounding neighborhood.
Police spent a good amount of time searching a wooded area that's behind Chris's mother's house.
There was helicopters in the sky. There was at least 200 police officers scouring around.
The police don't find any trace of Tiffany.
They search and search and come up empty-handed.
Chris's phone records are little help.
We do have good cell phone ping information from Chris's cell phone. He left the crime scene at the apartments. He went down Highway 360. Then he went west on I-30.
But as he was heading west on Interstate 30, his phone mysteriously goes dark.
At that point, we have no cell phone pings for 23 minutes.
Which suggests that either his phone was off or in airplane mode.
Then we see him reappear with a ping off of the towers at his parents' house. But I'm willing to place a bet that he disposed of her in that 23 minutes.
With Chris's phone records a dead end, the detectives pull his criminal history.
They realize it's a very lengthy record.
Chris had been arrested for armed robbery, aggravated assault, battery.
In fact, he'd only been released from prison a couple months before he began dating Tiffany.
But that's hardly the most shocking thing detectives find.
This wasn't the first time that someone connected to Chris had disappeared.
Back in 2006, his 20-year-old girlfriend also disappeared.
10 years later, she was still missing.
Detectives investigating the disappearance of Tiffany Johnson have learned that one of Chris Reville's previous girlfriends also disappeared.
In 2006, a young woman who was involved with Chris went missing.
Her name was Taliba Islam.
They had a child together.
And the details of her disappearance were eerily similar to Tiffany's disappearance.
Similarly to Chris and Tiffany, Chris and his previous girlfriend had also broken up.
On the day that she disappeared, the last person known to have been around Taliba was Christopher Reville.
That's a pretty big coincidence.
Oftentimes, if someone believes they've gotten away with a crime, they follow the same pattern.
For Tiffany's brother, Chris's pattern was crystal clear.
He was a serial killer.
The dude fooled everybody. Taliba's case really opened up our eyes to the stuff that he's capable of.
To find out there's another girl that went missing, it gave me the goosebumps, shivers all up my spine.
Do the dual disappearances really mean that Chris is a serial killer? When forensic experts recover deleted texts from Chris's phone, they reveal the depths of his obsession with Tiffany and his anger over the breakup.
What they found was shocking. Ranting text messages sent by Chris. "You broke my heart. I can't believe you did this to me. I won't rest until I'm looking in your eyes and saying my vows."
However, while the detectives believe they've uncovered a motive for murder, they still don't have the victim's body.
The case is drying up. They're not finding any new evidence that points to where Tiffany is.
At the end of October, with all their leads exhausted, the Fort Worth police suspend their search for Tiffany.
But Tiffany's family is not having it.
Tiffany's family joins up with Taliba's family and demand that the Fort Worth Police Department reach out to FBI and every other available resource to help them locate their missing family members.
If it's your child, you're going to hold off as long as you can until your child is found.
However, just because the authorities have abandoned their search for Tiffany, they haven't given up on holding Chris accountable for her disappearance.
The police move forward with the charges of aggravated kidnapping.
The prosecutors were not going to be able to have as strong of an argument that Tiffany was murdered because there was no body.
And an aggravated kidnapping conviction could lead to significant jail time.
The sentence for aggravated kidnapping is life in prison.
When Chris goes on trial in August of 2019, the prosecution contends that when Chris followed Tiffany down to the parking lot, an angry confrontation ensued.
What was that?
The prosecution's theory was that Chris became enraged when he learned that Tiffany was moving on without him.
It's none of your business, Chris.
What if I make it my business?
The prosecutors believe that once Devin went upstairs, Chris had grabbed Tiffany and forced her into his car.
The crux of the offense was his restraining her and moving her from the apartment complex.
What happened during the time Chris's phone went silent remains a mystery.
We're not obligated under the law to prove what happened to her, because the truth is, we don't know.
However, one thing is certain.
She's not here with us anymore.
And according to the prosecution, there is only one person who could be responsible.
The evidence against Chris was substantial. The fact that he was the last person to see Tiffany, the fact that he drove to his parents' house before he returned back to the apartment scene, and the fact that Tiffany's clothes were at his parents' house.
Chris's defense sticks to his claim that Tiffany left the apartment complex with someone else.
Chris's defense team maintained there was no evidence to connect him to Tiffany's disappearance. There was no way to prove how or when the clothes that were found in his mother's yard got there. There were no defensive wounds on Chris, no evidence in his car.
But when the case goes to the jury, it's clear who they think is responsible for Tiffany's disappearance.
They came back with a guilty verdict.
There was just no other explanation for what happened to her.
The judge sentences Chris to life in prison.
There was relief that he was finally held responsible for what he's done.
He deserves it right and where he's at.
However, there's still something missing.
Tiffany's family still wants answers.
You're locked up, but where's Tiffany?
He had every chance to tell us where Tiffany is, and he refused to.
Justice will be done when we find Tiffany and when we find Taliba.
Justice comes a little closer in March of 2023, after a woman's skeletal remains are discovered alongside a railroad track in Fort Worth.
DNA testing confirmed that the remains belonged to Taliba Islam.
But for the moment, Tiffany remains missing, and her family and the people still searching for her continue to cling to hope.
I believe that when the time comes, Tiffany's going to be found. I really do feel that he felt comfortable with where he disposed of Taliba, and that Tiffany will be very close by.
There's just a gaping openness in my heart that's missing. I mean, my life, my heart is incomplete without her here. She's still my child. She deserves to come home.